Mindset, a daily dose of practical wit and wisdom with a professional educator and trainer, Amazon best-selling author, United States Marine, television and radio host, Paul G. Markel. Each episode will focus on positive and productive ways to strengthen your mindset and help you improve your relationships, career goals, and overall well-being. Please welcome your host, Paul G. Markel.
Hello and welcome back, and I am continuing with my field notes. Yes, these are the topics that I came up with recently while I was sitting out around in a field, while I was walking through the field. I was taking my rifle for a walk, and I came up with a bunch of ideas, and I wrote them down, and I haven't used them all up yet, so congratulations, you get to hear this one. Recently, I was out at the rifle range here in Wyoming where I live, and a couple of other gentlemen were there, guys that I know, they like to shoot rifles. And one man, he shared a story, kind of a funny story. Him and his friend were on the rifle range, and they were, shooting at steel targets. And they were looking through their spotting scope, and way, way, way downrange, like 1,000 yards away, they saw a coyote. And the coyote didn't know they were there, and he wasn't bothered by their presence because the wind was going in the other direction, so the coyote was just kind of slowly loping along downrange. Now, for those of you that don't know, coyotes are a pest. They are a varmint. You do not require special permission from the king to take out a coyote. And you're like, oh, okay, don't shoot a coyote. For every coyote you kill, you save little baby deer and little baby antelope and little baby rabbits and stuff. You guys, you hippies out there, you like little baby bunnies, right? You like little baby deer. They're so cute. Yeah, well, you know who eats those? Coyotes. You know who eats your neighbor's poodle or your cat? Coyotes. Coyotes are a menace, and they need to go. So the guy sees the coyote. Both the guys see it. They spot it. And one guy's like, oh, I'm going to shoot it. Well, they'd been shooting targets that were relatively close, 100, 200, 300 yards. The difference in bullet impact, for those of you who don't know rifles, between 300 yards and 1,000 yards is huge. It's a very, very big difference. You need to make some what they call dope adjustments. Well, the guy who was telling the story was behind the spotting scope, and he was watching the coyote. And his buddy was on the bench, and he fired. And he's like, I don't know where you hit. I don't see the bullet impact. He says, he fired again. And he made a change, and he fired again. And finally, he fired a shot, and the bullet impacted about 30 or 40 yards away from the coyote, close in towards them. And the coyote then took notice and ran away, and he was gone. So the man telling the story said he looked over at his buddy, and he's like, well, what were you doing? What did you do for, adjustments, dope adjustments? And he showed him, and he was making 2-click adjustments at a time. Now, I understand that many of you might not know rifles and you might not know scopes, but with a quarter MOA scope, I'll give you an example here. When you make 1 click, that changes the impact of the bullet 1/4 inch at 100 yards. And it magnifies as it goes away, so it would be a 1/2 inch at 200 yards, and so on and so forth. 3/4 at 300, 1 inch at 400. You can do math. Well, the guy on the rifle, he was shooting at targets that were 200-300 yards away. Then he needed to hit a target that was around 1,000 yards away. And in order to do that, he thought he should make small changes. He put 2 clicks of windage or elevation on his scope. That only changed the impact of the bullet a couple of inches. He didn't need a couple of inches. He needed several feet. And he missed his target because he was afraid to make a big change. He was afraid to grab that knob on top of that scope and twist it and give it a great big change. Now, I know some of you might not be, rifle people, what have you. Let's say you get on a scale and you look at the number and you're like, that's not right. I should not weigh that much. I know me. I shouldn't weigh that much. I'm going to lose weight. And how do you decide to lose weight? You look at your diet and you're like, every day in the afternoon, I sit down and I drink coffee and I have, 2 or 3 or 4 cookies with my coffee. And so I'm going to lose weight, and I'm going to, instead of eating 4 cookies with my coffee, I'm going to eat 2. Make 2 cookies. And that'll be the change. That's a tiny change. But you make that change and you realize a week later you're not down anything, or maybe you're down a quarter of a pound. Or 2 weeks later you're down a quarter of a pound and you're frustrated. You know why you're frustrated? Because sometimes you need to make a big change if you want to see results. Unfortunately, many people are afraid to make big changes. They try and make little tiny changes that are easy and don't hurt, right? Like if you just cut out, like you want to lose weight, and you say, I'm going to cut out cookies altogether. No more cookies. No more junk food altogether. It's a big change, right? You're used to doing that. Your body likes that junk food, and it might not like it if you stop eating it. Yeah, but do you want real, genuine change in your life? Like our guy with the rifle there, if he would have grabbed that knob and put on about 30 clicks of elevation, maybe 40 clicks of elevation, depending, I don't know the caliber that he was shooting, I don't know the specifics of the scope, but rather than, taking it little 2 clicks at a time, if he'd grabbed that thing and turned it up 30 clicks, he might have gotten his target, but instead he didn't. And it's a silly story, but it's illustrative. It's about people's lack of desire or lack of ability to make a big change in order to facilitate real, genuine improvement in their lives. You may be in a position right now where you need to make a change, you need to make an improvement, you need to do something in your life to make things better, whether it's you want to lose weight, you want to get stronger, you want whatever, I don't know what it is. And you could be, maybe you're making these little tiny changes and you're frustrated because you're not seeing the results that you desire. You know why? Because you're not going to see those results with little tiny microscopic changes. If you want real, serious results, real change, real improvement, stop being afraid to make a big change, a big alteration in your life. That big change, that big alteration may be what you need to get the results that you're looking for. All right. So today's story, be willing to make a big change if that's what it needs, if that's what you need. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I could remind you to go to Amazon and Kindle and pick up my books, but, well, okay, I will. Go ahead and pick up Team Honey Badger, Raising Fearless Kids in a Cowardly World by Paul Markel. It's available on Amazon as a paperback or as a Kindle version. And I will talk to you again real soon.
Thank you for spending time with us today. To get show notes, submit a topic request, and for more from your host, Paul G. Markel, visit morningmindsetpodcast.com. That's morningmindsetpodcast.com. Please leave a review for this podcast on your favorite podcast player. We appreciate your time and effort, and we look forward to reading your honest feedback.